now I think it is time to think about how we're gonna do our exhibits. So meanwhile, let's go make those paintings. As far as I know, based on the wiki, there are currently 24 paintings in Minecraft. And as far as I know, they're made of sticks and wool. So let's go make those sticks first. And then let's go convert all of those into sticks from the planks. There's gonna be a lot, isn't it? But yeah. Okay, then all of those into our paintings. There you go. Then all of these as well. Now, this is gonna be the interesting part, where we try to figure out how and where we're gonna place each one. Been thinking about it just a slight bit. I'm thinking of putting one of these pillars here. And then we'll be surrounding these with our paintings, like just like that. And we'll try to make sure that we cover all of the different painting types for every position so that we can get all of the 24 paintings inside this room. Now, apparently what we can do is to use a block or something to make sure that we get the right size painting. Apparently torches don't work to block the painting. How about a block here? Will that block the painting? Looks like it. Okay, we'll try those. We'll try those then for these walls as well. Come on, get it right. Get it. I think this is the one. Great, amazing. So we now have those two as well, and those signs too. So we can now continue with this process until we have all of the paintings in our room here. I am quite excited to show you that we now have all 24 different paintings in our room now. It's a bit messy, but in a way that's a bit charming as well. I've also put all of the names in the game for all of these paintings. I tried my best to fit them all. I couldn't really put them inside these corners, so I'll think of some other way to make these interesting. Now, I'm quite excited to have all of these. I don't think I've ever had all the paintings in any of my rooms before, so that's quite nice. But there's a couple problems with it. First of all, you have these really flat walls, which I don't really like. Also don't have a ceiling here or a roof. I'm thinking of having something transparent here as our roof here, and just having the pillars keep going up over there. Also, I need to think of a better way of lighting this place up, because especially at night this looks terrible. Now, I was thinking of using something like lava here, but then again, I could just decide to only go here during the daytime. Just make sure that mobs don't spawn here. That could be a nice idea for us. Meanwhile, the grass is still spreading quite slowly over in this direction. I do realize that farm animals might start spawning here on our garden here, but that's fine really. And finally, our last problem here is that we are just about out of cobblestone. It is pretty much the last cobblestone I have. Running out of wood as well. So it looks like I will have to halt my construction of this building and any other buildings for now, unless I get more materials. Soon this will look much better. I'm quite excited for that. We'll think of something for this bottom layer as well. This might end up being our vault after all. We'll think about it. But it seems that for now, I'll have to just halt and gather some more materials for our continued construction. I have some other ideas for what we can do in our base area here, so I'm quite excited to share those with you as well. Well, I was supposed to do an off-camera mining session and get myself lots of cobblestone, lots of resources to continue our projects, but instead, I died but in a cave. There we go, found my stuff. Okay, hopefully I didn't lose much. Gonna go reorganize before we properly start here. In the previous episode, we started work in this museum area where we have so far housed all of the paintings currently in Minecraft, and I wanted some more resources to finish this building, like some sand for some glass and some more cobblestone, but I died somewhere underneath over there. And so I wanted to revisit that place and gather some more resources. I was able to get a couple more stacks of stone, some more dirt, some more gravel, but so far, nowhere near enough for me to be comfortable just yet. So I'll be back in, I don't know, an hour or so, gather some more. I'll probably be going down to the near bedrock level where we were at earlier, but we'll see where we head off this time. So this is some of the stuff we have gathered so far. It's actually mostly dirt and gravel. For some reason, I had just laser focused on those, tunnel vision. I don't know. We did get a couple of diamonds, some redstone, some gold, some iron. There is some more iron back in the chest over at our platform, but I had for some reason been focusing so much on that dirt and gravel. Something else I wanted to show is this little pillar over here, which I had put there to mark something I had found in my resource gathering and cave lighting sessions. So here we have what seems to be a zombie dungeon under here. So I had been hoping to start a mob farm at some point very soon, so this is of course a welcome addition. We'll be coming back to that very soon. I had also placed a marker over here to remind me that I found a mushroom over here at some point. This would pair quite well with the red mushroom we found earlier in our mine area. So let's go pick that up as well. Should be right around here. Hello there, mushroom. So we now have both of those. That's quite cool. Man, it's really hard to dig actually. As far as I can tell, the reach is a bit shorter than what I'm used to in later versions, so I have to get used to it, but it'll be fine, I suppose. And we just continue with this for as long as we can, really. Or at least when we feel like have enough resources to continue with our projects. Meanwhile, we have great news here in that the grass has started to spread over this outside area of our museum here. That's amazing. Just goes to show how much time I've been spending around here. Well, started to get a little bit more sand by digging under our farm there. And I'm starting to get more stone as well, but we'll get a bit more before we continue our builds for today. I keep hearing a skeleton over here. Let's see if I can find it. I'm gonna dig down here perhaps. Okay, it seems we have found the cave, but we need to heal up before we die out here. Got jumped by one of the skeletons out here. Okay. Seems like I was digging under here. But first let's clear this out. Oh, shh. Okay, this could be trouble. Make sure this doesn't fall on us. Okay, this seems to be a rather small cave, but this is the kind of thing that will really hurt our mob farming capabilities later on. Because any little dark spot can and will spawn mobs eventually. There's still a zombie around too. It's quite close by, so I'll go look for that later, but for now, I'm gonna continue digging this out. Here we have found the other cave, which is amazing. Means that we can also clear this out. Okay, so here's hoping these are the only guys. I do still hear running water, so That could still be something we should be aware of, but for now, gonna clear out some of this dirt and gravel for more resources for us. Is that a skeleton? Yeah. Okay, so there's even more out here. Cool. I think that I should just leave the cave lighting and resource gathering to off-camera stuff because I think I've shown enough in terms of me just digging around underground and trying to find mobs to kill. So I'll go back here to the museum area and let's try to finish this thing. I think that this rectangle doesn't look as good as I want it to be since it doesn't really show this part over here, the sides. So it doesn't really show the whole shape of the structure unless you're quite far away. So I'll try to do something about the shape here of this facade. Besides that, I'm thinking about doing the roof as well, and I'm thinking of doing it out of glass. But the thing about glass is that when it breaks, it shatters, and so probably gonna be doing it out of dirt for now, just so we have something that we can just work on the shape for now. I might also have something here on the outside, like some cobblestone perhaps, to just line this roof. It's gonna be another way for us to really define the shape of the structure. So let's see how that looks like first. How does that look? How does that look? Definitely doesn't look as good as I wanted to, but we'll still see how that would look with something on top of it. But I definitely wanted something to line this. So it's probably not going to be cobblestone, but I'll think about it some more. Well, it kind of looks weird, but this is what I have right now. We extended the front here just a little bit to give this flat wall something else going for it. And then I made this rather simple frame here. Kind of looks like a barn, but I think that actually fits with what I'm going for here. A very simple, very Minecrafty build. Did the same at the back, and now I've been starting to put some dirt in for the glass roof I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to get the shape right for the roof, and then I'll replace all this dirt with some glass. Let's see how that goes. Alright, so we've made a very simple version of what I want the ceiling and roof to be. Mapped here, bit of a dirt here for the glass, and put some stone slabs here as well to make a bit of a structure here for the top. If it was only made of glass, then would have seemed a lot more fragile. So I put this here as well. There's a bit of a dome here on the top, just so I have a bit more space in the middle because this area over here, this rectangular section, was quite a bit cramped. So I added a bit of a dome here, just so we have a bit more space here. It still is quite cramped, but there is a bit more space here in the middle. Or at least it feels less claustrophobic. So now we have all that. I think it is now time to start putting in the glass here. This is the part I'm most excited but also most scared for. I really do not want to waste any of my glass by placing it incorrectly, but we'll see. And let's go. I quite like what we now have here. Quite like how airy it still looks. That will be changed fairly soon, but I want to show how it looks like from up above. Here we now have an extra room upstairs for some more treasures that we might like to place here. I am now not quite sure whether I would want to move the ones over there, but I like this is now here nonetheless. Now to put in the center here, I had been thinking of using some iron and some gold to further represent the treasures that we have gotten in our journey so far. Looks like kind of like a daisy, which is fine. That's okay. With our museum now completed, I would now like to work on a different project. I was thinking of going down to where we think we found a dungeon earlier and converting that into a farm. Now, zombies don't really drop much at the moment, but it's still worth building, I would think. It's good practice for when we find other useful dungeons like a skeleton, for example, or a spider. Alright, so I think this is a dungeon, and I even marked it with some wood here, but how do I know? First is that this seems to be a suspiciously rectangular placement of cobblestone, and two, I can only hear one kind of mob over here. So what I'm gonna do here is to see for sure whether this is indeed a zombie dungeon by checking this. And here we have confirmation to see there the spawner, and we also see here some mossy cobblestone, which can really only be found in these dungeon rooms. So that seems to be taken care of. And the way we clear these dungeons tends to be just by making sure that everything's lit up such that there are no spawns in the room. We now have our zombie spawner over here, but let's see what we have inside the chests. Here we have some records, some vinyl records, some bread, which is nice, gunpowder, that's okay, some iron, and some wheat as well. So that's kind of cool. Quite excited to use these guys because they are music discs that we can use in the game once we have a jukebox. I don't think we've built that one yet in this particular save file, but anyway. Here we have a saddle, which we could use to ride some animals with. For now, it's just a pig as far as I know, but we have a bucket as well. We could leave this behind, I suppose, but I will, of course, take the string. So, we're first gonna remove some of this wood and stone and dirt outside the spawner, just so we could have a much better idea of what kind of space we need to build for our simple mob farm. It's probably gonna take quite a while, so I'm just gonna skip to when we're done with it. Well, okay. As I was finishing digging up the floor, a zombie just spawned right in my face and just immediately killed me in less than a second, or right around a second. Well, this is why you put torches everywhere, guys. So, well, I'm not sure how accurate this is to what I know from later versions, but I would always make a 9x9 around my dungeon, so around that wide, which means I'll need to keep digging around here for a little bit more, just so we could have the maximum spawning space for our zombies here. Looking at this now, I can't help but think that I want this square, this cup, to be separate from the wall, so it looks like I'm gonna have even more digging to be done here. I'm gonna be switching up some of this gravel to smooth stone, like this perhaps, where we have some smooth stone here. But I am gonna put a stone slab over there just to keep the zombies from jumping out of our enclosure here. But yeah, there's gonna be even more digging involved from what I can tell. Alright, so this is what we have so far. We have our cup, of course. And then if we jump out of it, we will now see that we now have this space around this area over here. Now, I'm not quite satisfied with the amount of space we have, but I do want these walls to go around it and under it, sort of like a void around our mob farm. But I think it might be best for us to think about the functionality first before the aesthetics of it. Our base is over there, so killing and collection would probably be over here. So probably do something like that where zombies are being spawned somewhere over here. They fall over here, then they flow in that direction. Maybe that's what we would do. Maybe we'll make them flow that way. I'll decide. Okay, so here's the plan. I have here some dirt, and we're gonna put some water on this end of our spawning space. And what's supposed to happen here is that it's gonna flow over here, and the zombies are gonna fall on this block through holes in this layer over here, right? And from there, we're gonna collect them perhaps in the middle over here, or perhaps on the side over there. And that will then lead them to our collection and killing point. So I will need to dig that down, but I think that once we are able to establish that, once we're able to establish the hole over here and the collection system, then we should start spawning our zombies immediately. And then we could be able to show that this is indeed a farmable mob. When I first found the zombie spawner, the hole I dug to the surface was somewhere around here. And then I moved the hole to around here so that I could have space for my digging around the spawner itself. But when I built the room to kill the zombies in, this is where I ended up going up. There was a bit of a scare with all this gravel here almost killing me, but that's fine. So this is gonna be my killing room and storage for zombie bits. But now I think we can finally put a sign here to let them fall inside this chamber over here. Now to finish this off, I think that we should probably have something here, and then maybe some sort of slab thing on the sides. I'm not quite sure yet. I want to test out some stairs as well. So something like that, and then some stairs to the side. I don't know, it doesn't look great, does it? So we're gonna have a couple of slabs here for the zombies, and then have maybe some glass on here as well. Something like that, so we can only hit them from around here. I think that would be perfect for that. Now let's move to the other side and activate our spawner. Right, so as mentioned, we have now reached our final preparations for activating this farm over here. And to do that, first thing we need to do is to remove some of these torches on the sides. And then we need to remove this dirt block over here to make our water flow that way. Also need to remove these torches here on these sides. I have put slabs over here to prevent mobs from spawning on the sides, but this will really add to our void aesthetic here. And finally, we will remove this dirt line over here to make all the torches flow back into our hole over there. So I'm going to do it this way from here, so that everything starts flowing, and zombies should start spawning all the way over there into our collection system over yonder. Let's see whether we do have zombies spawning. Although I do hear them quite clearly. And as you can see, there are now zombies over here, and they are very much capable of killing me from way over there. So I'm gonna put these blocks over here to prevent them from seeing me, prevent them from attacking me. So we now have a fairly reliable source of feathers, but as far as I know, in later versions of Minecraft, these zombies will drop other items as well. Meanwhile, we still hear zombies dropping into the water, which means zombies will keep spawning, and that's quite amazing. Because that means that our farm is working as intended. Now, with that done, in the next few episodes, we'll work on making this look good, making our void around the farm visible even from here in the killing chamber, so that we can keep observing these zombies spawn in. But for now, we have successfully made a mob farm, and I think that's enough for us to move to the next version of Minecraft. With our museum done and with our mob spawning mob farm done, that's pretty much all my goals for this version completed. I am quite looking forward to the next version because there's going to be some massive changes to the game, as far as I can tell from the feature list. So we can expect this world to look quite a bit different by the next versions. And as we end this episode, let's take one long look at what we've done so far. We have built the foundation for some big things in the future, but for now, a lot of this is just scaffolding, some sketches, and I'm looking forward to filling in our completed artwork for this world. But for now, we are once again moving on to the next version. I'm looking forward to seeing what we do in the future. But this is the end of the episode. This has been 13.4. And if you want to see more, please do feel free to subscribe. But for now, the grind continues. Goodbye, everyone.